Hello once again and welcome to Euroman Movie Report. This week I have watched the film Lockout. Lockout is one of these generic, nothing new sci-fi films which has borrowed a lot of stuff from previous sci-fi films. Lockout is set in this dystopian future. We don't get to know how that future has ended up that way. We see that, for instance, that the American president, he lives in a bunker beneath the White House, but it's not because of pollution. Maybe it's because of a war, or the war on terror has gone wrong or something like that. Maybe there has been a nuclear attack on Washington sometime in the previous decades. But anyway, we're not told that. The premise of the film is that the US government, together with this mega corporation, has built this giant space prison, basically a giant space station, which is used to house some very dangerous individuals, prisoners from the United States and other countries, and it's supposed to be used as a mega prison, where we are told that the prison would be able to hold up to 500,000 people. And basically then the president's daughter, she travels to that prison because she's one of these do-gooder environmentalist types, and she's played by the very hot Maggie Grace, and she is gone up there to check out a rumor that they use this substance to subdue the prisoners. They put them into this type of hypersleep, will give the prisoners dementia. And as you have probably seen in the trailer, everything goes wrong. One of the bad guys, a British guy or Irish guy, steals a gun from the president's daughter's Secret Service detail, and yeah, all hell breaks loose. He frees all the other prisoners and takes her hostage. And then enters Guy Pearce. He is like, if you, his character, he's a wise ass. He talks in these one-liners. He reminds me of Snake, the character which Kurt Russell played in Escape from New York. And then in some ways it's like the whole film, it's if that Luc Besson, he he's probably seen Escape from New York, and then, oh, I'm gonna update this, and this is what became Lockout. And then yeah, Guy Pearce, his character, he's a former CIA agent, and I don't understand why they cast Peter Stormare as this Secret Service chief, because he talks like he's a Russian gangster, and I know he's Swedish, but they could have chosen someone who didn't sound like a Russian gangster, because every time I saw him on screen I thought to myself, how in the hell had a Russian gangster become chief of the Secret Service? And he sends Guy Pearce's character Snow to a station because Guy Pearce's character is facing this jail sentence for a crime he didn't commit, and his task is to liberate the president's daughter. And this is basically what happens in the film. A lot of shooting. Guy Pearce, he fires a one-liner. More shooting. Guy Pearce, he fires another one-liner. And Maggie Grace, she's of course she farts around together with Guy Pearce up in the space station, Mega Prison 1, or I don't remember the name of it, and I don't care, basically. And yeah, and then of course a lot of explosions. But one thing which looked very well, there's a scene where the president is forced to deploy some sort of US Air Force Space Commando Division. They have these small space fighters which is used to attack the prison, and that looked very well. But the chase scene in the beginning of we have Guy Pearce on a motorbike, that looked very computer game like, and very silly in my opinion. But Guy Pearce, he in many ways he did a good job, and he's a good actor. And if they hadn't chosen Guy Pearce to play the role of Snow, I guess this film would have been even dumber than it was. So, but I don't get why Guy Pearce did this film, but he did a good job. He's a great actor, and I hope to see him in many movies to come. Yeah, 2 out of 5 Coca-Cola bottles, because the film wasn't very good, but Guy Pearce, he did a good job, and it had some scenes with okay CGI, but it was very predictable, and the bad guys were predictable. Yeah, and the film had inconsistencies, which I'm not going to discuss here because there are so many of them. But yeah, well, I won't be doing any reviews next week because there aren't any premieres or new releases, so I guess I will post my next movie review in 2 weeks, and of course I'm gonna review at that time The Amazing Spider-Man.